Okay, true confession here. And you know what? If this is you, you can raise your hand as well. I have to tell you, a lot of times when I'm watching videos on YouTube, I speed it up to 1.5, 1.75, maybe even 2 times the speed. Raise your hand if you're somebody that does that as well too. Now come on, get them up, raise them up. So listen, most of us I know do that. We're trying to get in a rush to kind of get things done. And by the way, what the heck does that have to do with the real estate market? This is Andy Liechty with Andy Liechty and Associates as a part of FC Tucker. And as you guys know, I like to come to you each and every month with a real estate market update on what's happening here in Central Indiana. And what does my confession of speeding through YouTube videos online have to do with today's real estate market? Well, actually, probably a little more than you think. When we look back on what's been going on in the market the last couple of years, and we lose perspective of what's happened before, pre-COVID, things like that, we don't realize that the real estate market across the country and even here in Central Indiana, it wasn't moving at normal pace. It was like watching a YouTube video that was sped up 1.5, 1.7, maybe even twice the speed. And you know what? Here in Central Indiana, we lived in that market for a very long time. And now what we're seeing is the speed of the video kind of start to slow down a little bit. And some people are saying, oh my gosh, the market's getting soft. Is the sky falling? And the answer to that is really no. But it feels different because we've been watching the video of the market in the last 2 years at 1.5, 1.75 speed. So I want you to think about that when I kind of give you the market stats and talk about what's going on here in the Central Indiana market. I want you to think about, just because this feels different and it feels slower, actually, that may not be a bad thing, and that may be a sign that things are getting back to normal. We have some challenges in the market for sure, but let's dig into the numbers and see what's going on. Here in Central Indiana, home sales are down for the month of July. This is August 15th or 16th, 17th when I post this. So this is data for the month of July. But home sales are down in Central Indiana over 20%. Hamilton County, you're down over 23%. And Marion County, you're right at about 21%, fewer sales than a year ago. But what's really interesting, obviously less people can afford to buy homes and rates are 7.5% than they were at 4.5, or 5% a year ago, right? So that's not really that shocking that home sales will be down a little bit. What is interesting though is usually when home sales slow, we see inventory go up. We're not seeing that. As a matter of fact, if you remember 12 months ago when everybody was saying nobody could find a house, in Central Indiana, we actually have 11.4% fewer homes for sale than we did in July of 2022. Think about that. I mean, if you remember back to a year ago, people were fighting over each other, 6, 7 offers for a house because there was nothing available, right? People kept saying there's no homes for sale. There's fewer homes for sale now, but we're down 11% with listings, but we're down 20% with sales, right? So even though listings are down 11%, with sales being down 20%, that's almost like listings have risen proportionally, if that makes sense what I'm saying on that. So Hamilton County, your available homes inventory for sale was down 14.6%, and Marion County was 3.3%. So, what does that mean? Hey, the market is slowing. There's no question about that. As a matter of fact, the average home in Central Indiana, the average days on market right now is about 48 days. And that is compared to 17 days just 12 months ago in July of 2022. That means it's 182.4% slower than it was a year ago. So if you're thinking about making a move and you're a seller, you need to have that proper expectation, not of what happened a year ago. That's when the YouTube video was running at 1.5, 1.75 speed. We're trickling it back down to more like 1, right? 48 days on the market. Historically, that's actually slightly above average, as a matter of fact. So, but again, we're still seeing prices stay strong. The average sales list price ratio in Hamilton County was 99.6% in the last 70, 80, 90 days. In Marion County, it was 99.5%. So what's going on here? Why are the prices staying pretty strong, even though there's 20, even though home sales are down 20%? Well, again, that goes back to the thing that I've been really harping on for the last 3 years or so: lack of inventory. And we have fewer homes for sale than a year ago. But let's look at 4 years ago, pre-COVID, July 2019. In Central Indiana, we only have 58.7% of homes for sale that we did 4 years ago. So for every 10 homes that were for sale, there was less than 6 now, 4 years later. Hamilton County, the most exaggerated of all of this, we only have 39.3% of homes for sale now than we did 4 years ago. So for every 10 homes for sale in Hamilton County, right now there's 4 years later. So even though there's fewer buyers right now, because there's not a lot of choices right now, that's still keeping prices strong. Now, they're not appreciating at the same rate they were before. They're going up right now. The year-over-year average is about 5%. However, if you were somebody that bought 4 years ago, or if you're curious on how much your home value has grown in the last 4 years, in Hamilton County, in Central Indiana, the average home has gone up 48%. And has got over $108,000 of equity. And those numbers are, the 48% is true really across the board, whether it's in Hamilton County, Marion County, or in a lot of the other Central Indiana counties as well too. So what does this mean then? If the speed is slower, that means that we're going through the process that means that we're going through the process slower than we did a year ago. So if you're somebody that's looking to make a move, what should your expectation be? Well, in any market, I've been doing this for 19 years, and in any market, when you're selling a home is 2 things. It's a price war and it's a beauty contest. And our job is to be able to identify the most opportune buyer that may be most likely to pay a premium for the home. If you're looking to sell your home right now, I would encourage you to talk to a real estate consultant and a team that is able to position you to win that price war and beauty contest and to identify your most opportune buyer. Right now in the market, to be very candid, and I've been telling a lot of my sellers this, we are seeing buyers come to the table now. The psychology that they have is they're looking for reasons not to buy a house because interest rates are kind of high. Things are kind of scattered, they're unsure. Where a year ago, they were looking for reasons to buy the house. So they were going above list, they were maybe doing appraisal gaps, maybe minimizing inspection contingencies. That is, by and large, not happening very much anymore. That's more the exception rather than the rule. So if you're a buyer, what does that mean? Well, you do have a little bit more time. Right now, some of you that have followed my videos as well know that I talk about new construction. We're seeing new construction also slow a little bit more. That can mean some opportunity for incentives on that end. Buyers or sellers may be a little bit more flexible with their price and with inspection terms and things like that. So we're getting to more of a normal market. The YouTube video is starting to get more to 1.0. So hopefully you found this information helpful for you. If you're somebody that's thinking about making a move, my team and I, we would love to serve you. We would love to be a resource for you. We would love to give you the proper perspective of what's going on here in the Central Indiana real estate market, and help you get through that process successfully, even if it looks a little bit different than it did a year ago. So feel free to comment down below. Would love your thoughts. If you have any questions as well, put them down below. We would love to just get your thoughts on what's going on in the market and your questions. And if there's anything we can do to serve you, just let me know. And as always, we're never too busy for your referrals. Thanks so much.